Hi everyone, I was just doing some reading through the content standards assignment that you all worked on, and I appreciate everything you put into that within a week's worth of time. I tried to clear out some of the other assignments so that wouldn't be so huge, but I'm sure that next time I do this, if we're doing a 1 week unit, I'll probably have you do that for one content area instead of two. That was a big chunk of stuff to get done in 1 week, but it also gave you a clear excuse to look into two sets of content standards or pedagogy standards from different content areas. And looking across the different content areas, I hope you appreciated this in reading, that there were some of them that were actually making much clearer attention, putting much clearer attention into literacy and comprehension than the others were. And others that were just kind of skimming over it or not even really putting it in there. But the intent of this assignment is to help you feel that process of what it's like to write standards that make sense. Because standards are something we tend to have handed to us from authority figures, and we just take them as if they're given to us by the boss, that type of thing, instead of questioning the fact that these are actually written by people who may or may not have the complete picture in mind. And so what you've done is you've actually taken an authentic task, something that you might actually do, and tried to put that into standards type language. And these are just drafts. This just gives you a taste of what that process looks and feels like. But hopefully you have an appreciation for how much the standards do and how much they don't do. So and most everybody was seeing that the standards get you part of the way there, but they don't quite account for this and they don't quite account for that. And so this should help you to start thinking about ownership of the standards, because this is your profession, and you deserve to get in there and have a voice as much as anybody does, especially as you gain qualifications, that you should be able to get in and say, this is what we really do, or this is what is really demanded of kids when they do these kinds of tasks. So when we really want to do these kinds of things with our kids, or we want to have the kids do these particular things, the standards shift and change a little bit. And so setting the standards in stone and saying we do this, 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 and this at exactly this age, this month, and so on, doesn't map to the way that we teach and respond to our students, unless we're willing and okay with just teaching in a scripted program. So the existing standards, some of them were much more clear and more direct in how they mapped onto things, but I think that each of you, as you made efforts to write your own standards, made sure that there was a really clear connection. And I tried to give you a sense that there should be logic to the standards. There should be a clear line of thinking that takes you out to what the standard is. So we went from authentic text to what it takes to actually comprehend that authentic text, to what the literacy standards should be for that content area. And this makes it so that the literacy standards for the content area are not divorced from the content area. And many content area teachers feel like the literacy standards are heaped on top of everything else they already have to do. And we can't afford to do that to secondary teachers, middle school teachers, and high school teachers especially, because they only get the kids for a certain amount of time a day, and they have all of their content standards to hit. So those literacy standards need to be completely integrated, completely making sense with respect to the content that they're going to be teaching. So authentic text, the thinking demands of the authentic text, should lead us immediately out to what the literacy demands are for a content area. All right, talk to you soon.